Risk and Compliance Hub by Chronodat. Organizations today face an expanding landscape of operational, financial, cybersecurity, and regulatory risk, and the tools most teams rely on weren't built for the pace of modern governance. Risk and Compliance Hub brings the entire risk and compliance lifecycle into Microsoft 365, where your data, permissions, and audit trails already live. If your risk register lives in 3 spreadsheets and a SharePoint folder nobody can find, and your last compliance audit took 6 weeks of late nights to assemble, this video is for you. I'm going to show you the Risk and Compliance Hub by Chronodat, a full enterprise risk register and GRC platform that runs inside the Microsoft 365 you already pay for. No separate platform, no per-seat fees, your data never leaves your tenant. In the next few minutes, I'll give you a tour of every major area of the hub: the executive dashboard, the risk register, the rating matrices, compliance assessments, the framework library, and admin settings. To make it concrete, I'll reference one real risk already in the register. Risk 2026-00118. Employees failing to identify simulated phishing attacks, rated critical at intake. You'll see how that single risk shows up consistently across every screen in the hub. By the end, you'll know exactly what your team's day-to-day looks like in this tool, what your auditors see, and what your board sees. This is the hub, open in SharePoint. Real product, real navigation, dashboard, all risks, compliance, risk rating, reports, settings, everything in one place. How the hub works end-to-end. Before the tour, here's the model the hub is built around: a continuous 6-stage loop. We capture a risk, logging it with owner, category, and business area. We assess it, likelihood times impact, plus a financial exposure figure. We treat it, controls assigned, residual rating recorded. We monitor it through live dashboards and aging reports. We comply, mapping it to the frameworks each risk touches. And we report to leadership, to auditors, to the board. The teal arrow at the bottom is the point. This isn't an annual exercise. It's continuous monitoring, review, and improvement. Every screen you're about to see lives somewhere on this loop. The executive dashboard. This is what leadership sees when they open the hub. The executive dashboard. Headline numbers across the top. Open risks, in progress, closed, critical, average age in days. At a glance, the board knows whether your risk posture is improving or slipping. Just below, financial exposure. The total potential cost across every assessed risk, $2.7 million. That number is what reframes risk from a compliance checkbox into a business conversation. Underneath, the inherent risk heat map. A 5x5 grid, green to red, showing where your risks cluster, and the severity donut, breaking the portfolio into critical, major, moderate, and low. Risk 2026-0018, the phishing risk, sits in the critical cell at the top right of the heat map. Every cell is clickable. One click drills into the underlying risk list. The risk register. The all risks register is where the daily work happens, the single source of truth for every risk in the organization. Each row carries the essentials: risk ID, title, status, profile, category, business area, likelihood, impact, calculated priority, owner, due date. Colored chips make status and priority readable at a glance, so an overdue high-priority item jumps right out. Search and filters at the top: status, profile, business, project. Narrow the list instantly. And one button, Export to CSV, hands the data straight to an auditor or feeds offline analysis. Opening Risk 2026-0018 brings up the full record on a single screen: description, scoring, owner, due date, attached evidence, history. This is where the risk owner does their work, and every change feeds straight back into the dashboard. No reconciliation, no syncing, no let me update the spreadsheet. Inherent versus residual. The heat map on the dashboard showed inherent risk before any controls. This screen places it side by side with the residual view, risk after your mitigations take effect. This comparison is the most powerful conversation in GRC because it visually proves whether your controls are actually working, whether risk is genuinely moving out of red and down toward green. Both matrices are full 5x5 grids, color-coded, with live counts in every cell. Risk 2026-0018 sits top right on the inherent side. likelihood high, impact high, critical. After controls, targeted retraining for employees who failed the simulation, updated phishing test cadence, and awareness recertification, it lands in the moderate cell. Managed down, not eliminated. Clicking any cell lists exactly which risks sit at that score, so the analysis stays traceable to real items. Compliance dashboard. Now from risk into compliance. The compliance dashboard summarizes posture in one view. Active frameworks, assessments in progress, overall compliance percentage, controls assessed, here 41 of 55. Compliance by assessment shows each initiative as a progress bar. PCI DSS nearly complete in green. SOC 2 readiness lagging in red. Trouble spots are visible without opening a single file. The assessment status chart breaks work into draft, in progress, and complete. The active frameworks grid lists every framework available with its control count. Inside the SOC 2 assessment, Risk 2026-00118 maps to CC 2.2, Information and Communication Security Awareness. The control can be marked, scored, and backed with evidence and notes. When the auditor says, "Show me," the answer is already here, in SharePoint, versioned, permissioned, audit ready. Frameworks Library. This is the library powering those assessments. 15 built-in frameworks ship out of the box: ISO 27001, SOC 2, PCI DSS, GDPR, HIPAA, NIST CSF, DORA, the EU's Digital Operational Resilience Act, and more. Each one preloaded with its full control set, so teams start from a baseline, not a blank page. Got an internal standard? Add your own custom framework. Below the catalog, the assessments table tracks every live engagement and its percent complete. Picking a framework scaffolds every control automatically. That's what turns a months-long spreadsheet exercise into something your team can actually keep current. Settings and admin. Last stop, the settings that make the hub yours. Everything is configurable without code. Scoring scales, active frameworks, workflow notifications, the fields that flow into your CSV exports and reports, branding, theme, permissions, all of it. And because it's SharePoint native, permissions, data, and audit trails live where your IT already governs them. Theme changes apply instantly. Report builder defaults, set once, applied everywhere. This is the screen an administrator uses on day one to align the hub with how the organization actually works. Minutes, not weeks. That's the tour. If there's a screen you'd like a deeper dive on, the dashboard, a specific framework, the reporting layer, drop it in the comments and we'll cover it in a future video. Links to the free trial and to book a working session are in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss the next walkthrough. Thanks for watching.